Hey guys, it's Corey Beasley with Fight Camp Conditioning. Today I'm going to talk about how we can change load position to increase intensity. Hey guys, before we get started, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We got a lot of good content coming out. Want to make sure we get it in your hands. Alright guys, when we're talking about exercises, a lot of us are limited. Maybe by, like me, I'm in my garage. You might be in a gym. You might only have a handful of dumbbells, kettlebells, maybe a couple sandbags or whatever. But one way that we can change that variable for that exercise, maybe make it a little harder, more intense, is by changing the position. My buddy Josh Henkin from the DVRT does a great job teaching trainers and coaches how to manipulate these variables, or body position, load position, types of load, whether it's a sandbag or a kettlebell. They can be very, very different. But load position specifically is a real simple way to increase the difficulty or intensity of an exercise without changing the load or the weight. So let's go through a couple examples for the squat. So when we're talking about a squat pattern, most of us grew up putting a bar on our back, which is awesome. It's a great exercise. Back squats, front squats are phenomenal exercises. But if we just had a sandbag as an example, there's a lot of ways we can skin it. So for a new person, we might just be able to clean it up and hold that. Like I call this a bear hug position, right? So we'll be able to just to hold that bag and then hit our squat pattern from here. Okay, we can go all the way down, all the way back up. But having that load glued to our chest, from my experience, is probably one of the best ways to teach people how to squat correctly. So once we hit that bear hug squat, right, we're able to do that proficiently, we're doing that well. The next place I'll move people is into a zerker squat, or more of the bags resting in our arms. Okay, so we'll simply just clean that bag up, have it in our arms, and then what I'll do is I'm going to pull that bag, we're almost rowing it, pulling those shoulders back, and then hitting that squat pattern with the bag here. And it's a really great way to slowly increase the intensity without overwhelming somebody up front. Now from here, all we need to do, in order to make it more like a front squat, is we can bring that weight all the way up, right? So it's almost all the way up by our shoulders. And then we're doing our squat here. So by taking that weight up, the further it goes up our body, the harder we're having to work to maintain good form. And then that weight's not only just down here, going through our hips and legs, but as we bring it up, it's going through our entire trunk, so it's much more demanding. All right, guys, so once we had the bear hug, we've done zerker. We maybe moved up, we did front squat. From there, what we can do is we can change to almost an asymmetrical load and shoulder that bag up on one shoulder, which forces us to not only squat, but then compensate from side to side. So it looks something like this. So you start here, you clean that bag up onto one shoulder, and then what you're going to do from here is just squat here and come up. But you're having to avoid or compensate for that asymmetrical load, which can change things quite a bit. Last one, guys, is as we're moving up, so you can see we're just slowly moving up the body, is we're going to go overhead. Now a lot of people can do overhead squats with the bar, which is awesome. We can also do them asymmetrically from side to side if you want to try that. On this one, I'm going to use the sandbag, which is a different size load, and it changes the way the exercise feels, but we're just going to snatch that bag overhead and then do squats from here. So arms are locked out. Arms are back by your ears. And then we're simply squatting down and coming up. But then what's happening is we have that load going through all the shoulder girdle, the torso, the trunk, down into our legs and hips, and it's much more challenging. Now without changing the size of the bag or the weight, we're able to manipulate where that load goes, where we hold it during the exercise, and it completely changes the tax on the body. So there you have it, guys. There's a handful of ways that we can change the load position to change the stimulus that we're providing for that athlete or for your own workouts. And as you can see, whether we're limited by equipment and need a few different ways to make that exercise harder or more challenging, or we're just looking to become a more well-rounded, strong athlete, by changing the load position, we can add a lot of new stimulus to that athlete's body so that they become strong from head to toe and perform better down the road. So hopefully that stuff helps you guys out. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. As always, we want to make sure you guys get the information you're looking for. And then hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We want to make sure we get all the new content coming in your inbox.